Hello friend, welcome back to Seed and Sparrow Homestead. If this is your first time here, my name is Kelsey. Welcome. We are working on cleaning out all of my freezers today. It's been a hot minute since we've done a clean and organize and take an inventory of my freezers. I have a few. We do homestead. I've got a fairly large garden, so lots of produce comes in. We raise our own chickens for meat here, so that takes up some space. We like to buy the other meat that we can't produce here ourselves in bulk, so we purchase a quarter side of beef, and we have friends down the road who do have more land than we do, and they raise a pig for us, which we will get in November. So the big driving force here with this project is we have our second round of Cornish cross ready to be harvested in about 2 weeks, and I don't have anywhere to go with them, which is a big problem. I mean, I guess it's a good problem to have. I'm very thankful for the food that we produce and are able to have here, but I do need somewhere to go with all of these chickens. So I'm confident I can make it work. Some things just need to be organized better, stacked nicer. There's probably going to be some spoilage. I'm not perfect, so there's some things that are probably getting chucked or maybe composted or given to chickens. So that's what we're up to today. We're in an area of the house I probably haven't shown you much before. So the previous owners enclosed the porch that was here, but they didn't insulate, so it's a bugger to heat and it's a bugger to keep cool. We're not out here a ton. My kids do play out here, and I house one freezer out here. My other freezers are down in the basement, so I have this upright, an upright downstairs, and a chest freezer downstairs. And then we've got the freezer attached to the fridge out in the kitchen, and we have another fridge-freezer combo out in the garage. So those are the areas we're tackling. However, this is probably where we're going to be doing most of our clean out today. Downstairs, I mean, it's an unfinished basement. You've seen that before. I don't really have a space where I want to lay everything out and know that it's going to stay clean and nice and have good lighting. So I'm probably just going to be toting things up here, making more work for myself, which is totally fine. I'd rather work on everything up here, toting them up in like wash baskets and laying them out and organizing. So we're going to get started. So I'm at least going to like show you the before of each freezer. It's a hot mess. This is freezer number 1. It's a mix of stuff. There's chickens in here, there's fruit in here, and veggies, stuff from the garden. There's some beef in here. I think there's a tub of venison, popsicles, bacon, all sorts of stuff. So let me move back here. Sorry, I'm probably wobbling the camera a ton. Here is freezer 1. Here is the kitchen freezer. This one's a hot mess too. And as you can see, I have it too full and ice is starting to build up. I don't even know what's in here, to be completely honest. There's that drawer too. Like there's stuff in grocery bags. I don't know what's in them. We're gonna find out. All right, here is the only chest freezer we have. This one is what I typically house our quarter-sided beef in. That's what is in here now. I think there's a couple random things in here, but I do want to take inventory of just how much of each type of cut we have so that I can meal plan a bit easier. Then we've got this upright freezer in the basement. Totally random stuff. Like I can't even get a good angle of it. All right, here you can kind of get a quick little overview of what's in here. All right, let's begin. It's a comfy day, so sweatpants. First thing is emptying this out, but my plan is to kind of have each freezer hold a certain category. Right now they're just a mishmash of stuff in each one. So I think this one is going to be designated for fruits and veggies, and like add-in type things. I have like sauces frozen. I have homemade like condensed soups frozen in here, and maybe this will be for some freezer meals, so the extra sort of stuff. And then the chest freezer is gonna stay for beef, and then the upright downstairs, I think I want that to house the pork and the chicken and maybe the venison, and have that kind of be multi-meat. Freezer. And then I might put some like convenience things out in the fridge freezer. So let's get this thing emptied.
So here are some details for the curious minds out there. If you didn't know, we are a family of 4. It's my husband and myself and our 2 small children. Eleanor is going to be 6 and Grant is 2.5. They don't eat a whole lot just yet, although let me tell you, boys are no joke. Grant can pack down twice as much food as his sister, who has 3 years on him, and I can only imagine how much I'm going to have to feed that boy as he grows. So this may seem excessive to some people, all of these freezers for our small family. Like I said, we do homestead. I am growing a lot of food. I preserve it in different ways. Freezing is one of them. This is one of the ways I contribute to our family economy. I obviously don't have a job outside of the home. I do a whole lot of work inside the home and outside in the garden. But by buying things in bulk and growing everything that I am able to here, raising some of our own meat, it really does cut costs for us on our grocery bill. And it also helps us beat the insane amount of inflation that is happening right now. I'm also someone that likes to be prepared. It gives me peace knowing that no matter the circumstance, it could be things like natural disaster, or perhaps my husband is out of work for some reason, or we're having a financial hardship. The food system is having issues and collapses somewhat. We experience another 2020 where the shelves are empty. Whatever the case may be, it brings me peace knowing that I have prepared well enough that my kiddos are not going to go hungry. Now, something I make sure of is everything I am putting away, freezing or preserving in different ways, are things that we can cycle through within about a year's time. I just like to make sure that at any given time, I would have enough here in my home to make it last for 3 to 6 months. So I always make sure that I'm not buying anything in excess or being tempted by sales or deals. If it's not something that I know we will consume, we can consume it within a year so it doesn't get wasted. It doesn't waste money. It doesn't waste resources for other people. And it doesn't waste space. I'm very intentional about what goes into our food storage. I am trying my best to use wisdom to steward our finances well, to steward our space well, all while making sure my family's needs are being met and they will be taken care of no matter what. And yes, we do have a generator for our home. We made sure it was a big enough one to power all of our food storage as well as our stove. And we do keep some extra gasoline for that generator as well.
Current status. This has been emptied. I need to come in here and clean up the bottom a little bit. And I did go back through and fill up this door here. So the next thing to do is to go to the other freezers, find all of the fruits and veggies, and lay them out here. This is what I'm dealing with. This is more fruits and veggies down in here. These are some like convenience type foods. I'm gonna put them out in my kitchen fridge. The pork, venison, and chicken are gonna go down into the other upright freezer. So I need to go downstairs and grab some other stuff. I'm trying to keep everything stacked really closely so that they stay frozen for as long as possible while I kind of rearrange things. So let's go grab some more stuff. Okay. Okay, so from downstairs, I found a bag of cheese. This is all veggies from the garden and some fruit, some like smiley fries, some more fruit over there. I found my first 2 spoilage items. Some cheese from 2019 that's really freezer burnt. I don't even know how I missed that for that long. And some corn from 2019. They were both just shoved in the back behind things. So I'm just gonna give that to our neighbors that have the pigs they're raising for us, and they'll go to town. Okay, so now the upright freezer downstairs just has some chicken in it. I do need to remove that at some point here and allow that freezer to defrost. There's a lot of ice buildup in there, so I'm gonna need to chip away at that before I load the rest of the chicken back in. But I want to go out to the freezer in the kitchen. I know I have a whole bunch of produce in there too, and I want to pull all of that out of there so I can refill this freezer, and then we'll move on to the meat. I'm feeling the pressure. I feel like I need to hurry up as fast as I can before things start to thaw. So I'm just gonna start throwing contents of this freezer. Why do I have so many opened bags of Smileys? I don't know. Chicken nuggets. More chicken nuggets. I don't know why I do this. I've got 2 open bags of everything. Oh, these are old ones. Those need to be ditched. I think these are peppers from last year. Okra from last year that I have breaded. Oh boy, let's see. I need to just bring a bucket in for compost stuff. There's some hash browns that are really old. These are some fish steaks from the deer my husband harvested.
If any of you are watching this and you are just starting off and you're wanting to increase your food storage, I always say pantries, and I include my freezer in my pantry category. Pantries aren't built overnight. They do take time, they take resources, and how we have gotten to the place where we can purchase things in bulk. I can take advantage of sales when I see a good one and have the funds set aside for things like that. What worked for us was whenever we had some extra cash flow, whether that be a tax return, Christmas, or birthday gifts. If either of us did a side hustle, my husband will mow the lawn for some of our neighbors. I used to play piano at our church. I brought home some money from that each month. All of those extra things we would put aside until we had enough to purchase things like a quarter side of beef or some chicken in bulk, take advantage of sales. And then when you start to build your pantry and you have a surplus, you can then take that money that you would spend weekly and continue to put it into that pool of money for bigger purchases, things to help you build your pantry, whether that's dry goods or things for your freezer, all of the above. And if ever we didn't have that extra money coming in, we would find a way. We'd go out and find a side hustle to bring in that extra cash.
All right, it's empty, but it's gross. I need to go in there and clean all that out. I'm gonna leave this open for a minute because there's lots of ice there. Ooh, that's gross too. I can't believe I'm showing you that. I need to clean that seal to everything. So I want it to warm up a little bit in here so that ice, breaks off a bit easier. And then we'll clean it out. Okay, the plan is I'm cleaning this freezer out, cleaning the fridge freezer out. I'm going to refill these. I want to inventory after everything has been put back into the freezers because I'm worried about spoilage happening if it sits out for too long. So I'm just going to try and very neatly organize things so I have an easy time inventorying a bit later. All right, now we refill if I can get the door open. So like I said, this is going to be my fruits and veggies, and extras like sauces and cheese, maybe bread if I find any. I'm thinking, since I have all of these big gallon-sized bags of raspberries, I'm gonna stick them down here. Just seems like the best use of space because they're not easily stacked. And thank you to all of you who on my last video gave me a whole bunch of ideas on what to do with these raspberries. I have an abundance this year, and I'm just trying to figure out the best ways to make use of them, and you guys did not disappoint. So if you need ideas what to do with raspberries, go check out my last video for some inspiration. I don't know if these are all gonna fit in here. So we're gonna put some in the back, and then we'll have to, let's see, if I put them up here, down here I could stack more things. One more bag I thought. Here. I know there's some more around here somewhere. Let's see. What can I put in front of there? Let's do something that's not gonna get confused. I don't wanna do strawberries, so let's see, these skinny bags, although those will stack nicely. Let's put, here, my carrots are all a mess. Let's do carrots in here. And then this is one random bag of cabbage rolls. That can go in there. And then let's do strawberries. Strawberries from the garden. They're gonna go up here. And the rest of these strawberries. I'm trying to put the newer things towards the back. And like I know I purchased these before I had strawberries coming in from the garden. So I'm gonna put them in front so I use them first. Let's see, what else do I have around me? Those are peppers. Put blueberries up there. I'm sure I'm gonna get more raspberries from the garden. I have a cookie tray out there I need to fill a gallon bag with. We'll put cherries over here. What else?
Another quick tip if you are looking to get more freezers. When we first got married, all we had was that kitchen fridge freezer combo. And it seems each year we've added a freezer since I started gardening. How we did that affordably, we went to our local small business that sells appliances, and instead of purchasing new, we purchased from the used section. And we didn't spend any more than like $150 per freezer. So keep that in mind. You can always purchase used.
Okay. That's about all of my extra stuff and fruits and veggies. Oh, there's a bag of cheese. We'll put that in here. Okay. One freezer kind of done. I got all the ice off of this one, so now I'm just gonna clean these seals up pretty well here before I start refilling this guy. Freezer seals get so gross. Just tell me I'm not the only one. Do I have a problem?
3 things I noticed I'm really low on. One is bread products. I haven't been making much bread because if you've been around here, you know I've been having some health issues. I'm not tolerating a lot of things. I've got a lot of gut issues I am working through. And bread's a huge temptation for me, so I haven't been making it, but I need to restock because I have other people in my family that like bread. But also butter. I like to have a whole lot of frozen butter on hand. And freezer meals. I really went hard with using up the freezer meals this garden season because I was just so busy.
All right, time to fill back up. So, I can't really see you. I decided that this is gonna be some convenience foods like chicken nuggets and french fries, but also for my convenience meats like cheesesteak meat, some like pre-made sausages, and all of my breakfast meat is going to go in here. I'm not gonna have enough room down in the upright for all of the chicken and all of the pork and all of the venison. So I'm gonna put my breakfast sausages and bacon in here as well. So let's see, I think the bacon will fit really well up top here. We only have 2 packs left from the pig that we harvested last year. It won't be till November till we get that restocked. And then anytime I go to the Amish stores and I see they have like nitrate-free pasture-raised bacon, I just buy a whole bunch of it. All right, bacon. We also have some scrapple. Is that like a nationwide thing or is that a regional thing? Scrapple. It's a big thing here in PA Dutch country. And then this stuff, oh, that was open. Well, I just made a big mess. Randomly, I have salmon every once in a while, so I'll put that over here. My yeast for baking is gonna go on that side. And then I've got some randoms like wonton wrappers and popsicles. So that takes care of this freezer. All right. This is about as good as it's gonna get because things need to get back into the freezer. I got a ton of ice off, and thankfully down here there's actually a sump pump and a drain. So as soon as that all melts, it'll just go down into there, and I'm gonna turn on the dehumidifier. So as of right now, like this is the store-bought stuff that I still have. I think my plan here, we're gonna can this all up. It's just tenderloins and chicken breast. So all of that is gonna get pressure canned. Down here, I have 3 bags of like backbones from chickens. When we butcher, I usually part out like half of whatever we have. So that's the backbones from a whole bunch of the ones that I parted out. We're gonna make bone broth with that at some point. That's just a big old ham that we'll probably have around Thanksgiving or Christmas. So now I need to fill this up with all of the chicken.
This is our second year growing chicken for meat here on our little homestead. And if you would have told me 10 years ago that I would be harvesting and gutting and piecing out chickens, I would have called you crazy. I never saw myself being able to do something like that. But after really diving down the rabbit hole of where our food comes from and what goes into it and wanting better quality food for our family, I just knew I had to put on my big girl pants and do it. And I'm so glad that I did. There's no going back after you have tasted homegrown meats. There is such a difference in flavor and texture, and knowing that they've been treated well, you know what they're fed, what their living conditions are, and to know that they are harvested in the most humane way possible is so worth it. If you have been on the fence, do it. If I can do it, so can you.
All right, so here is how we are looking. Not looking so great space-wise. For a moment there, it's like, oh man, I'm gonna need another freezer. Because I still haven't put the pork anywhere or the venison. Yeah, that's still breast milk. Don't mind that. Okay, so these packs, like all of the store-bought stuff, this and everything here is going to be pressure canned. So that's all gonna go away within the next 2 weeks. All of the necks down there and the backbones, that's all gonna go away within the next 2 weeks. We'll make bone broth. So I'll have space there. I'll have this door freed up so that I can put maybe all of this chicken breast on the door. So I'll have an entire shelf there. I still have some space here, and then I'll basically have the full bottom shelf. So I am confident that I can get all of the chicken we'll be processing in here, because again, I'm going to be piecing out at least 12, if not more of them. So I'll only have about 10 or 11. full birds that will need somewhere to go. So I think I can stack 10 birds in there, and I still have a little bit of space here. So I think this will be okay for chicken. So we've got the chicken situation for the most part figured out. If I need more room than what is in that upright freezer, I have little spaces here and there. We'll make it work. I still have to figure out what to do with the pork and the venison. The venison should fit in the upstairs upright freezer, no problem. It's just that small little tote. And I don't have that much pork right now, so that can either go in the chest freezer here with the beef, or it can go into the upright freezer upstairs. I'm not totally sure what I'm gonna do about storing an entire hog come late November, but I do have some time to work through things, maybe can some more things up, and I have to go inspect the garage freezer section. There might be some room out there as well. I'm gonna make it work. So now that everything has a home that needs it right now, now I can go through and start to inventory. For my inventory, I just printed off these freezer inventory checklists. They were free. I just did a Google search and these popped up. So these will work just fine. Printed off a few of them, one for each freezer. I might need more than one for that one out front. So I'm just gonna go through and I am going to write the date that I put them in the freezer. I try to label everything when it goes into the freezer, and if I didn't label it, I'm gonna have to just guess. Write its name, when I need to use it by, and then I am just gonna I'm gonna color in the circles for however many I have, and then as I use them, I can just put an X over it to update the quantities. So I'm gonna get started on that project. To be completely transparent, here is the spoilage. Mostly some veggies, tater tots, and unfortunately this bag of strawberries here just got very freezer burnt. And this is why doing a freezer inventory and clean out is a good habit to create every few months to make sure this doesn't happen, make sure things are sealed properly, things are getting cycled through and rotated, and things aren't getting just pushed to the back and forgotten about. But thankfully, it makes me feel a little bit better. This is not like a total wash because we have chickens, and I'll let this thaw and the chickens will eat what they want from it and the rest will just be composted. So I forget what size this is, and I can't find, well, some of the markings have ice over them. It's either a 7 cubic foot or a 9 cubic foot. I don't remember. I want to say it might be 7. But it fits a quarter side of beef pretty perfectly with some room to spare. I've already taken some of the stuff out. This box is kind of stuck. I like to use cardboard boxes to kind of just separate everything. So at the very bottom over here, I have all of my packs of beef. There should be, I think there's close to 40 pounds of ground beef in that box because I haven't touched it since we picked the order up. I'd been working through our last quarter. So that's just gonna stay down there. I'm gonna get like a cookie tray or something and try and chip at this, get that off of there. And then I'm just gonna inventory all of our steaks and roasts. I think there's some soup bones in here and that sort of stuff.
We eat a bunch of different meats, as you can see here, but a quarter side of beef will typically last us about 4 to 6 months. When we first started buying it, we would go in with my parents and we'd purchase a half side. The bigger amount you purchase, the more money you save. So if you have at least one other couple or maybe a few different friends to go in with you, you're gonna get more bang for your buck by purchasing a bigger amount of beef. Something to note, if you haven't done this before, or if you're thinking about raising your own meat birds, you're not just able to go to the store and pick whatever cut of meat you want. You're given the whole thing. So you might not be familiar with some of the cuts, or you might not be familiar with how to roast a whole chicken and how to make use of all of the pieces if you're cooking it all at once, using it for multiple meals. So you may have to make some adjustments, which I honestly found kind of fun because I wasn't familiar with all of the different cuts that you can get from a quarter side of beef. So I had to do some research and learn some new recipes. I had to learn how to take an entire chicken and use that for multiple meals because, you only get so many chicken breasts and so many thighs and drumsticks from each chicken. So you can't just be eating drumsticks every week or eating chicken breast every week. You have to learn how to diversify your diet a bit. And learn how to do different things with what you have. So the deal here is this is a whole box of different roasts. I also have like the really big sirloin steaks in here. And then below that is another big box that has all of my ground beef, the newer stuff. There's about 35 pounds down there. And then here I have the older ground beef I'm working through. These are more specialty steaks like Delmonico, New York strip, and filet mignon. And then underneath here, these are ranch steaks and what else is down here? Ranch steak and rib steaks. All the way at the bottom, that is the oxtail. There's a brisket and there's 1 pack of short ribs. So beef freezer is all organized and inventoried. Okay, it's dark outside now and the lights in this room are burnt out, so I'm sorry the lighting isn't the greatest, but here is the upstairs upright freezer, all organized. So over here we've got all of our sauces, cheese, some corn, beet hummus, beet puree. This is pear butter, some kale cups, some caramel pear butter, and then some chili starter there. This is my box of pork, which is going to stay here for now at least. Got some butter and some chocolate zucchini bread. There's a few bread products back there and some extra yeast I keep in the freezer. And then back here we have all of our peppers, some potatoes, celery, zucchini, cabbage, peas, and cauliflower. And then we've got some of our raspberries, strawberries. There's cranberries, cherries, and blueberries, and some strawberries in syrup. And then we have some pumpkin cups, a bag of cheese. This is the box of venison. This is all of my tallow that I have projects lined up for. And then down here, we've got the rest of our raspberries, my homemade condensed soup, and like the cream of soups, and some carrots. So I decided I'm just gonna keep all of my freezer inventory sheets on the fridge because I'm not gonna go to each freezer to look at what's in them. Figured this would be best because I do my meal planning up here. I can just look at the side of the fridge and know exactly what I have. So I've got basement chest freezer. The upright is 2 pages long upstairs, and then the kitchen freezer here. Don't you love my magnets? Hashtag mom life. Well, that's my husband. Those are shotgun shells. So I feel so much better now knowing that that is all done. I know exactly what I have. It's nice and organized. I have room for my chickens in 2 weeks. That feels great because I was just worried. I really didn't know where I was gonna go with them. So now I know I have the space that I need. And now I feel excited. You know, we just went through it and we cleaned out my pantry downstairs, my canning pantry. If you didn't see that video, I'll link it here on the screen and down in the description. And sorry, Grant's over here playing with Legos. Now that we have the pantry, like dry goods pantry and the canning pantry, all organized. Excuse me, sir.
Now that that's all organized, I should really inventory that too and have a sheet up here. That's gonna take a good long while because there's a lot of stuff down there. But now that that's done and the freezers are done and, you know, fall weather is approaching quickly, we have, I think, 2 days next week that are like a high of 65, and I'm just super excited about it. It makes me want to like meal plan and bake all of the things and get creative in the kitchen. So I'm excited to do that with you all. I've really fallen behind on the meal planning bandwagon. Once like summer hits and the garden's going nuts, like that just gets thrown out the window and it's just survival mode, and it's ordering out, using freezer meals, and like super simple dinners like a meat and potato, and not having anything super exciting to me. Food's food, right? Feeds bellies. But I'm excited to get back in the kitchen and experiment again and have fun and get creative and really put to use all of my hard work and everything I have been working at over the last few months. And I hope you're excited to come along with me too. All right, you guys, that about wraps up today's video. I did run outside to the garage, fridge, freezer to see what the situation was there. The only things that are in that freezer are the organ meats from our quarter-sided beef we got a little while ago. Not totally sure what I'm doing with them yet, but there is some space out there if I need it when the pig comes, so that's good to know. So, thank you all for coming along with me. I hope you enjoyed as we cleaned and organized and inventoried all of the freezers. It was not a job I was looking forward to. When you're already busy, these bigger jobs can just seem daunting, and I really think the hardest part is just starting on the project. So it feels really good now to have it done. I know sometimes for me, if I'm watching someone else clean or organize, it kind of lights a fire underneath me to go and do something. So hopefully, maybe this video gave you some cleaning inspiration, some motivation to go get some projects done. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop them down in the comments. I'll be happy to help you out. Other than that, you guys, thanks again for hanging out with me. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Take care.